Hello, welcome to the Black Mind Podcast, episode 216. Joining me this week is Josh.
Hi.
Hi, Josh. Also joining us this week is the person who I sent an image to saying this was him back in the day. Allan.
Not really. That image doesn't work for me because I wasn't like that. I didn't really care for it. Like,
Allan.
the thing is like, so he sends me this picture of this fat neck beard in the underground that's like all pro feminism and stuff like that. I was pro feminism, yes, but there's some other things in the background that I'm like, that was certainly not me. Like,
You were a brony. You were a
I
brony.
am a brony. That doesn't mean that.
At least he admits it.
I don't care. But like, the thing is like all the other things in the background though, where make me raise an eyebrow and go, that doesn't sound like me at any point. Maybe during high school with the communist stuff, but even then I learned real quick in high school that was a bad idea to back that, because I actually got taught that about, like, you know, the darker side of communism and the reason why it's like, no, this hasn't worked, period.
It's funny because I have a bunch of friends who don't understand that communism is bad.
Communism bad. Communism is bad for you
Communism's
children.
bad.
Don't endorse it.
Yeah. If you want to support communism, may I encourage?
I want the most far and away extracted communism possible.
So just social programs.
Normal. No, it's so far and extracted that you go, is it even communism anymore? I don't
know. You know.
They go, there's the social net. Oh. Is that good?
Yeah. Something. Anyways, so basically what ended up happening was, and I'm Jeff, and I had a great week. I got my teeth cleaned.
Ow.
Chips fell into my mouth. It was great.
Delicious.
I played Tekken. Played some Tekken.
Did you get the new DLCs for that or no?
No.
You didn't play as Negan?
No. I did play as Eliza?
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 Isn't that
The vampire?
Is that the girl? Oh, is that the girl with the horns, or is that the girl with the hand?
Girl with horns.
Okay, yeah, she's pretty good.
She might be my waifu. I don't know.
If she did stop murdering people, then sure, yeah,
Look,
maybe.
I'm not saying that I find vampires sexy, but by golly, if there's a man
I'm not saying vampires are sexy. I'm just saying that this one vampire that looks very sexy, it's very attractive.
She's very hot and makes my pee go rock solid.
That is something I don't really want to hear.
There's a lot of things you don't want to hear, Allan.
Not at all.
But,
Can I get up in your
No,
guts?
stop. Cease and desist.
Please don't. That's not funny. That's really not funny.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh,
that's so funny.
See, the only person who finds it funny is you.
yeah.
Because
Of course
you just.
I do.
You're Josh. You're
'cause I
Josh.
play
Just,
that-
no, stop.
Gosh, you're so special and
that comment's
innocent.
so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I should ban you for
You
that.
should.
I should.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
You're not banned, though.
We're on a podcast, so we can't.
Shit.
You're a host. We're not allowed to ban you.
2:12. Yeah, by the way, I am legit doing homework in the background for a history project. So, fun times. I am citing sources right now.
That's nice.
And I need a calculator now. Fuck!
So basically, this entire week has been pretty interesting, pretty good for me. I think it's been pretty good for Josh. I think it's been pretty good for everyone here, actually.
I've actually gotten sleep for the first time in like 4 months.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
about that.
That sucks to be you. You lose sleep, I gain sleep. The mutual, all is in balance as it all should be.
No, let me explain to you what happened, because you'll be like, "That's really fucking stupid." So, I have a cold, and I have had really fucking. So I've been getting about, on average, about, let's say about 7 hours of sleep. For the past like few days, and today is like an outlier because today I went to bed at like 12.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh can attest to this because I was staying up fucking programming and playing salty bets.
Mm-hmm.
Because priorities.
Yep, priorities.
My priorities are straight. Let me tell you about my priorities. They're so straight. I'm straighter than an arrow.
Arrows wobble when they're in the air. This is coming from a guy who practiced archery. So go fuck yourself.
I'm straighter than a 50 cal bullet.
Actually, they drop.
I'm straighter than a rocket launcher with a never-ending fuel supply. Does that fucking work?
Maybe.
I'm straighter.
Believe it or not, rockets and anything that is a projectile weapon is
Do
not
rockets
straight.
go up, Allan?
No, they don't. They gently curve with the curve of the Earth. Believe it or not. I will get a video on that because that's the reason why. Like when you watch,
I'm straighter than a bare 50 cal bullet fired straight in space.
Still isn't straight though.
It's straight enough. Fuck it.
I was gonna say, why don't you just go with like straight as a laser pointer?
That's
Light.
a laser point.
Light goes straight.
Allan, let me explain to you the gravitational effects of light that light has. Do you know what a photon
Yes.
is? Yes. Light is actually a particle that is somehow can be basically used as a particle, let's say.
I know.
That's
it can
what
also,
a photon is.
A photon
It
is
can
also
curve.
a wave, so it doesn't actually change. You gotta realize, I studied physics extensively in high school.
You got to realize this is going way too long.
Yes, the
Yeah,
joke is
this
the
is
joke
a-
has run
this
its
is a
course.
dumb joke. Yeah.
No,
We need Rory here.
no, we don't. Me and Rory have oh fuck, I have a story tonight for
What
fucking.
did Rory do?
No, it's not something that Rory did. It's something that I did that resulted in a bad thing happening in our game.
Oh, and Rory's pissed off at you
No,
because
Rory
of
is
it.
like, it happens. I was like, I still feel bad. He's like, whatever.
That sounds like something Rory would
we
do.
will explain. I will explain in a bit, but shit happened, and yeah.
I mean, that's better than what I did, and he capitalized on it.
Oh.
In Shane's server, I posted my schedule, and Shane's friend, because one of them was like, so my name's Boogie. So he goes, Boogie, get to class. Boogie, bitch. I go, I'm sorry, but who are you? And also, you don't know my schedule. I posted my schedule, and then they sat there and they were like, here's a great bullying tool. That's literally what Rory said. So, yeah. I'm going to be pinged whenever my schedule goes off. It's going to be great.
At least someone's helping you get this class.
I mean, fuck you.
Where is Blackboard? Blackboard is there. History 102. That's not the class I need. I need my Blackboard. Okay. Do you really want to know what happened?
I kind of care.
All right.
I'll be honest.
All right. So, we're playing Pathfinder on Wednesday night.
Yes, as you do.
We get to a lower part of the dungeon. We go through a really hard fight. We succeed, and we're like, well, we've still got extra portions of the dungeon to go through. There can't be anything harder than this. What we thought was a boss fight. Rory knew it was ahead, but he can't metagame, so he can't say anything. So we're searching around one of these rooms, and it's like, oh, this room had a psyker in it, and then there was this room where there was 2 skeletons, but not enough for 2, but not enough, but there's too much for 1. So it was like something happened there. It's like, okay, whatever, fine. We come into a room. Mage detects something magical. Me and the paladin's standing next to me, and I go, okay, I walk over it. I step to here, and the DM's like, okay, as you step there, this thing appears in front of you. And this large creature bats me around. By the way, I am the hardest creature to hit and the hardest, and I think I have this. I think I either have the highest or the second highest HP in the group. Bat down to half HP in 1 hit. And I was like, oh. I was like, roll for initiatives. I was like, okay. And then it went first again. So I'm flat-footed. And I was like, okay, fine. -1 AC. Bat, I'm down. I was like, Jesus Christ. And then the rest of the party tried to scramble to save me and kill this thing. And like, they started to pull us out. And I was like, it's just like, 1 frontliner went down. 2 frontliner went down. I had gotten woke up, went to go for a heal. And the DM was like, so does a 30 hit your AC? And I was like, yeah. Even at my highest, my AC is 27 at highest. And he's like, okay, and bat. And I was like, oh, look, I'm dead. And so the rest of the party fled, and that was the end of the campaign. We got total party wiped in a game. And I was like, I feel so bad. I was like, that was my fault. And that was the thing. It's like, well, we didn't have much resources if we felt we could go further. It's like, yeah, I felt we could go further. I rotated front because I had been in the rear. I had been rear guard for most of the dungeon at this point, so I had taken basically no damage. I had 2 heal spells left in case we need them. Our paladin, Rory, still had a full 2 lay on hands left. But the rest of the party were all out of resources. But me and Rory were like, well, we can do this. We can check these last couple rooms before we pull out. And I was like, yeah, no, that works. It's fine. And then that just didn't work. And it was something that we couldn't predict. So now this Wednesday coming up, we're going to be getting together again and sitting down and planning if we want to do another different campaign, if we want to do something else, or what's it. Because right now we're kind of like, hey, what do we want to do? Oh.
I mean, I kind of want to pick up Pathfinder, but so GCS, Game Creator Spaces, wants one of the people there wants to run a campaign, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll be there. And I'm also kind of like scratching my head, and I'm like, ooh, I could also buy Warhammer models and start painting again. Because, like, apparently, so I made this grave mistake of posting one of my models on the Discord. And, like, it's not a bad model, it's not one of my bests. Well, actually, no, it's pretty close to my best because I went really crazy with it. Mm-hmm. And, yeah. So, like, it sucks to hear that you guys lost horribly, but, like, you know, that's kind of the nature of the game, man.
Oh, it happens. Yeah, no, I won't lie. Like, it just kind of happens from time to time. Like, it's just one of those things that happens.
Yeah. I mean, I would be happy to kind of join.
This is a small group that, like, Rory, Stefan's, like, we've already got a full group. Yeah, we try not to go above 4 or 5 players at any given time because 6 becomes a little bit unwieldy.
I am so offended, he says half sarcastically.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I don't care.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah.
I'm actually
Next.
about to hand something in, but it looks it. Yeah. Hopefully, maybe. I don't know yet.
So, in other words, you had a pretty good day.
I've had a couple good days so far, yeah.
Yeah. And school's been treating you well?
Yeah, actually.
Okay. Not me. Mine has been mediocre. We hit the ground running. We're in like the third. So next week I have 2 tests.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have a test on research, which is literally just like probably going to be like, hey, explain to me these concepts. And it's like, what? Motherfucker, that's like impossible and really stupid. And then I also have a test on Windows deployment services and stuff. So, yeah, I'm probably going to have fun. But hey, that's me. The other thing, though, I will say, is recently, however, I did have some really good times playing Tetris.
Oh.
And more particularly, I watched two people fail horribly at Puyo Puyo Tetris to the point of where I've never seen this before in my life. Have you ever seen somebody who is bad at Tetris?
No, not really.
Josh, have you? Have you seen?
What?
Have you ever heard of somebody being bad at Tetris?
I mean, there's different levels of being of good Tetris. I can tell you right now, I'm probably mediocre.
Okay, because like I'm mediocre too.
Yeah.
Like I'm not.
Although funny thing is, I can kick your ass at Tetris.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you can.
Yeah, I just focus way harder than you do.
Like, here's the thing: is like me and you like are pretty much at the same skill level, and I consider us horrible.
We're not great.
Like,
unless it's that one thing we're good at.
Like, if it's slower, we're pretty much good. But like, I barely drop, and you are like good. But like, I've been trying to get better at Tetris, so I'm like, hooray! So I watched two people actually get bodied in Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Mm.
And it was like disgusting. It was just bad. Now, to be fair to one of them,
not fair.
To be fair to both of them, one of them had
Yeah.
never played the game before in her life.
Okay,
So
that's a good excuse.
and she was going up against somebody who probably had played it like 8 times. Okay? And she was playing Puyo Puyo. So she had no idea how the game worked. And the other guy was playing Fusion. And it was just like, oh, this is bad. But my point still stands. So, I'm going to say this right now. Tetris is still good. I recently started playing more Tetris on my Switch. I also finished the Dark World in Smash, finally. And basically, it is Smash Brothers. It's just good.
It's just good.
And Tetris 99 added in a bunch of new features, such as like an actual battle mode with CPUs. So to get better at the game, I've just been playing that. And holy fuck, man. It's like you're just playing against yourself, and it's just insane.
I mean, I usually think that the best on, like, if there's a game that was competitive and that's the way that, you know, the game usually, when competitive game, like any versus game, PvP games usually go, is the competitive route. I kind of wish there was a feature of like, okay, I want to practice up, but I want to try to keep killing myself over and over and try to get better over myself. So I kind of wish there was an AI of some sorts will just learn off of me and go, okay, you're doing this all the freaking time, so I'm gonna do this all the freaking time, and then you just try to, you know, teach yourself to get out of your loops, basically.
Pretty much.
That's one big step of trying to be a better person who's at anything competitive. Just get out of your fucking routes of what you do usually all the freaking time. Because I can tell you right now, someone's going to recognize it and they're going to just body the shit out of you.
So, like, I didn't think I was that good at that game. Apparently I'm okay. Yeah. I also been
You're better than normies.
Yeah, I've also been playing a lot of salty bets.
That doesn't sound so bad.
Salty bets puts in perspective of, man, good thing I don't actually bet on anything else. I suck at it.
I may or may not have it on a tab. and I may or may not be 7,000. Like in, like, okay. This is really bad. This is really bad. I am like in, like, you know, Salty Bet has a leaderboard.
Yeah.
I'm in like
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you my position right now because it constantly changes. I'm 7,070
Oh.
on the leaderboard. Okay, I have 265,504 dollars.
That's pretty good.
There have been matches where I've made 20 grand on like 100, not even 100,000.
I mean, the best ways to really rank up in cash is try to figure out when the tournaments start and figure out who's going to be the best person to bet on through the entirety of that thing.
Yeah, just go all in all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes, if you go all in all the time and you somehow win on those upsets as well, man, you'd be walking out of those things with like 50 G's.
Yeah.
You'd be like you're rolling in money. So it's like it's not hard to win big. It's just hard to figure out who in the hell is going to be competitive, remotely competitive / competent enough.
Yeah. It is.
I don't know.
That game.
I got about 60. I got 60 G's in it.
I don't
That
play that
game-
game, so I don't know.
It's fun. Just bet with a. Just bet.
Come on, Alan. Have a gambling
It's free.
addiction.
No,
Have a
I'm
gambling
good.
addiction. It's fun.
Come on.
I'm good. Go fuck yourselves.
Oh, we're not convincing enough. Oh well.
No, you guys
No,
are just
we
being
need a- we need a-
obnoxious is what you guys are being.
No, what we need is we need a girl in order to come in and be like, Alan, Alan,
I
play
legit
Salty Bets
wouldn't
with
care
me.
even then. And you know that.
The fuck. That's bullshit. No, you would. You would totally care.
No, I wouldn't. You want to know why? Because you've told me that's
If
what
she
you guys
was
would do.
Why?
If she was sitting there being like, Alan, I'll take my clothes off every single
I'd just
one
fucking
piece of
leave, I'd
article
leave the
clothing.
chat.
You would not want to play Salty Bets and see some
Yeah.
girls' tits. Okay.
Because
Because
why?
why? I'm not here to play salty. I'm not here to see tits. I'm here to play salty bets if I'm going to play salty bets.
Exactly.
And I don't want to play salty bets, so there's no incentive that would make me want to play salty bets. Tits are not the advantage here.
Tits are always an advantage.
Are they though?
I mean,
Is there like a D&D percentage of like does tits matter?
No.
see, this is disappointing.
I mean, kinda depending on the person.
You know what? This requires science. We have to do science after this. Do tits
What if
matter?
about man tits? Like, I'm sure man boobs also count.
Oh,
I'm sure they have a AC roll or some sort of charismatic check just on tits,
You know, I'm
depending on the gender.
going to say this right now. This might sound sexist,
probably is.
but it's true.
Probably is.
Tits are better than balls.
There are some women who will argue with you on that.
Exactly.
I mean, if you have big balls, I don't understand
Jeff,
what's
stop digging yourself a hole.
How do you get those in your pants?
Fairly easily.
I don't even like that. It's more like why. There are people who inject like saline into their balls.
Those people have problems.
Did you hear about the? Oh yeah, no, they do. In more ways than one.
What else?
Superiority complex, right?
Mm-hmm. I've been playing Binding of Isaac more.
Yeah, you have been. I've been wanting to ask you how you've been playing that.
So it's been a
Is that the
or
question
how-
that you asked? I was like, hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute.
So the reason why it started to jump into it again It's simply because there's been a couple of updates to the game
Oh.
where I've just simply ignored it, and I was like, oh yeah, there's actually been updates to it. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just boot it up again since it's still installed and I haven't uninstalled it yet. And as soon as I turned the game on, the game just automatically just said, oh, hold on, there's all these like 50 achievements. Let me just give them to you. Here we go, 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 here we go. Just all of them start popping up, and I'm like, oh, I got more shit in the dungeon now. And yeah, it's it's hilarious because now there's 2 new characters, and I started to realize that I haven't completed the game in 2 other modes with any of the characters, which is, I think it's greed mode and what was it, boss rush. And I tell you, both of those are hard for me because I have a tendency to min-max like fucking crazy if I see an opportunity to min-max like crazy. So if it's something like, oh, I just pick up the piggy bank, and the piggy bank lets you, like, every time you get hurt, you drop cash, and it's free cash because it's not from your actual allowance. It's from like this piggy bank that keeps dropping money. And I'm like, oh, cool. But what if I had the blood penny? Well, the blood penny, every time you pick up a penny or any money item, you freaking drop a half heart. And it's like, oh, that's really good. What if I combo that with the stupid, what was it? The communion wafer. The communion wafer, only every time you get hit, it's only half heart. So with all this together, you don't die. Ever. So there's a couple of games where I'm like, yeah, I'm winning on bullshit. Woo! No one's going to touch me. And there's also a couple times where I'm like, I completely forgot what this item does, so I'm just going to run over it, and I fucked my game entirely.
Good job.
Yeah, Binding of Isaac is just not a nice game for some people. It legit. Although, it just, oh hey, you're everything that you were just doing just ended bad.
Funny thing is, there's actually some mods that actually make the game like way more digestible now, where it doesn't even break the game even. It just tells you what the fuck the shit does in the first place, which I felt it should have been there from the get-go, or at least updated to have it. But the freaking dev of the game doesn't feel like that should be there. But I'm like, there's so many items in the game, no one can figure out like exactly what each one does. So it's like, I think this is what should be in the game if it gets over so many items. Because before it was like, you can memorize it and you can figure it out. Now it's just too many. And the one mod you can get is legitly run up to an item. You can go to the item. It tells you a name and a description of what it does and what's positive and negative about it. And that's it. And I'm like, frick, this is such a blessing in this game, because it's like, you go to an item, you see a syringe and go, is this a good syringe or a bad syringe? I'm just gonna touch it and see what happens. And then you freaking touch it and go, well, my shot speed's way slow, but I do hell of a lot of poison. It's like, well, necessarily, if you knew that in the first place, you'd be like, well, I guess I could have switched that with something else, or just run around the dungeon a bit more and see if I found something better. But freaking this mod is like freaking amazing. And there was another mod, like, basically now it's like, ever since I've been discovering mods for each of my favorite games, it's like, oh, this just makes this game way fucking better. That should have had it in the first place. Like, I highly suggest getting the if I could just boot up freaking Steam, I could just tell you the one mod, because I feel it just makes the game night and day better. And also, there's a option you can switch on in the game itself. It's called HUD, or was it Hide HUD or Open HUD or something like that. It's basically just makes it so you can just see your stats constantly, which is like, oh, that's also another like great thing to have, because it's like you pick up an item, you don't realize what it does until you're like, I think it makes my shot speed slow. I don't know. Until you start stacking 3 of them and you go, ah, shit, it made my shot speed slow. But yeah. Binding of Isaac with mods, I recommend.
What game have I been playing this week? Oh, I got myself back into Pokemon Go.
Why did you do that, Alan?
It happened because of work.
It happened because of work.
Yeah. So this is a bit of a story. So we're at work one day. It's the last week of work, and I'm just kind of like I'm working in the rain on that Monday last week, where it's raining outside.
Yeah, that was terrible.
So I'm like, whatever. I'm disappearing for an hour in like 3 hours. I don't care. Whatever. I'm going to class.
I'm gonna be gone forever.
And then I'm just like, I gotta go through this week, and I'll be fine. And then we're just sitting there chilling out, killing time between this truck and the next truck. And one of the guys pulls out his phone, and all I hear is, boop, and I'm just like, that's fucking Pokemon Go. And I like looked at him, I was like, you're playing Pokemon Go? And he's like, yeah, I've been playing it all weekend. And I was like, why? And it's like, because this cute chick I'm trying to get with plays Pokemon Go, and she got me into this game. I was like, that is a mistake on your part. And one of the other guys is like, oh, you're playing Pokemon Go. So promptly, 4 other guys joined in on Pokemon Go. And I was like, fuck.
Well, now I can't be the outsider.
No, it wasn't even that. Like, I would like legit. My last day, I sat down with them, and I was like, "So I'm playing Pokemon Go when I go back to school." And it's like, "Why aren't you playing it right now while you're here with us at work?" And I was like, "Because I actually do work when I'm at work." And they were like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah." So on Sunday night, right before I went to school, I installed it, booted it up, and I was like, "Oh, look, that's right. I don't know anything about this game anymore." And I still think I've got like one of the jankiest versions of the fucking game ever.
Okay, Alan. Okay, Alan.
But in other news, I've been playing, I've been looking forward to the new Magic set because Jesus fucking Christ.
They finally fix all of the issues with the game?
No, they will never be able to do that.
No, they added more issues, don't you know?
They introduced a mechanic called food, and I was like, the fuck is food?
Yeah, food is
It
interesting.
sounds like something that Chris would like.
Christina, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the new mechanic is basically creatures or spells or whatever drops a thing called a food token. Food token is an artifact, and is it pay 3? You gain 3 life.
It's basically you sack and you gain life, kind of thing. I think it is.
Yeah, you sack it and you gain 3 life.
I was like, that's actually not as bad as some of the other mechanics they've introduced. It's not even all that bad of a mechanic because it's like, yeah, like, if you fucking build up your food in like the game, if you can like get proliferate and stuff like that off, and all these tokens go off, you can go like, oh yeah, I'm taking 30 damage. I'm just gonna pop 10 tokens and just get 30 life.
or yeah,
or
if
counter
you just
go, I have life. I'm good.
Hold on, let me just eat some food here. Let's say cheese roll, cabbage, another cheese roll.
I love the look of I love the idea behind it because it's a fairy tale set, and I was like, oh, I hope they have the 7 dwarves for Snow White. And promptly I'm looking through the spoilers, and I was like, oh look, a dwarf. Oh look, a dwarf knight. Oh look, another dwarf. I was like, excellent. I'm like, give me more dwarves. There's also a fuck ton of human knights. Oh my god. Oh
yeah, the knight is looking pretty strong. You can actually make that really good knight deck that anyone's ever wanted.
You can make it red, white, black, red, white, white, black. Cause Jesus Christ.
Now you have options.
There's also the king, who I think there's also white, green, and white, blue, and green, blue knights as well. But I didn't see them on the list because I wasn't looking for them. Because they're not exactly those are not exactly colors I like to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also adventure cards. So you can either play them as the creature or play them as the adventure and then play the creature afterwards.
So in other words, why would you ever
play it as a creature?
Play it as a creature. You play it first as an adventure and then play it as a creature because legit.
I don't know. Maybe you need something. Maybe you need a blocker.
Sounds like a major waste of a resource.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're building a deck and you're like, I'm trying to find a certain spell to do something certain, you'd be like, oh, it has to be on this adventure card. And it works out. Perfect. Although there's this one card, Vantris Gargoyle. A lot of people are hypothesizing this could be like one of those chase rares.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Because basically it comes in, it's a 5/4 for 2 mana, one anything and 1 blue, and it doesn't do anything unless you put shit in the person's graveyard. But the thing is, it's a flying 5/4 and it doesn't do anything. So it's like, hold on. It's for 2 mana, and people are searching up other cards you could do this with, and it turns out, you can just make a really good aggressive counter deck with this. Because there's this another card that says, like, counter a spell if you have a creature 4 or more in power. And it's a 1 draw, it's a 1 mana counter. And I'm like, that's stupid. It's like, some people are like, you can make something real good with this. And it's like, yeah, you can. It's like, geez. If things get too stupid, it might get banned despite it being just a brick, just a goddamn brick.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Oops, we didn't realize this brick was too good.
Oh, we didn't realize this thing would, in fact, ruin the game and make it harder for all of us.
Not really.
How?
Oops. Who didn't realize Mox Opal is going to be a $120 card?
Oh, how could we make this terrible mistake?
Or no, freaking actually that was before, I think I want to say it's before R&D. They realized that Mox Opal was a bad idea because like the thing about it's hard in Magic the Gathering is figuring out what should A equal to B. Like what should you get for, like, okay, if I sack a creature to get a benefit out of it, what is the benefit going to be equal to? So basically before it used to be like, sacrifice a creature, you get 1 mana. Turns out that's too good. Because you can technically go infinite with that, depending on how the other spells work, and depending on what comes out down the line. So it's like, no, you have to be like, sack 2 creatures, get 1 mana. Sack 2 things, get 1 of whatever you need. Because 1 for 1 is too broken. Get 1 for 2, that's even more broken. That's like, you're just ruining your game at that point. They have a heck of a time trying to figure that out.
It's almost like they don't play test their stuff, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, nowadays they do. They actually do have an R&D group that is supposed to, like, check things over once or twice and make sure nothing's going to be too stupid when it comes out. But at the same time, it's like things still slip through the cracks. Like the one card currently in Modern, Hogak. Hogak is the fucking worst. Despite being probably the worst card ever when you read it, it literally reads, you can't cast this spell. Like, you can't cast it. But if you sack a bunch of shit and you get rid of your graveyard, you can cast it that way. But it turns out, no, wait, hold on, dredge decks work that way. And they work really well. Mm-hmm. And putting Hogak in there is like, turn 3, 8/8 trample, deal with it. And no one can deal with it. Because it's too fucking stupid. Like, that's the only card that they slipped through the cracks and they were like, shit.
That's the thing, is like, they do have a pretty good, like, playtest and stuff like that, but at the same time, you're like, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
There are times where you're just like, I do not believe you at all that you play tested this for solid reasons.
I don't believe you.
For legitimately solid reasons. To the point where, like, legit, you'll be, like, sitting down just watching somebody play, and then you'll be like, a thing happened. I don't know how I feel about the thing happening.
Or another thing I hate about Magic, too, it's like, because you're not on the ground floor when this card came out, it's $200. Good luck getting it. Like, freaking, when I was at the time, like, when I first started, I was running around World Wake and, what was the other set? World Wake and Return to Mirrodin. Mm-hmm. Or it was Scars Mirrodin, I mean. And that's probably back-to-back the most broken sets, like, most recent times to come out. And nowadays looking back on it, I'm like, fuck, I should have tried to get a Mox Opal, at least one. Because God, because now I'm looking at the prices for some of those cards, and I'm like, Jesus, like who's buying these out? Like, oh God. Actually, can we have a break? Because I gotta go poop.
Yeah, we can have a break.
Okay.
So, reminder to me to place my... Holy fuck, I just lost money.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, so you go to the washroom, Josh.
Okay. I'll be right back.
What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh my god. I just lost $2,000.
I returned. The fuck, Josh.
He's going to take a shit.
He wants to go take a poop. But no,
Taking a shit.
I think we've all had a pretty good week this week, for the most part, with maybe you as a bit of an exception towards the end. But at the same time, I'm not even all that mad. Like, this week's been fantastic. I've actually gotten a fuck ton of sleep too. Like,
It's been an interesting week.
yeah.
So, like, basically this entire week has been basically working and doing shit. And now it's been like I'm just doing homework
Yeah.
before, like, because like I have to study too. So like as soon as we're done this, like I'm taking the dog for a walk and then I'm gonna go home and then
Yeah,
I'm gonna read.
Legit. When we're done here in a couple minutes, I'm gonna, because I don't think we're gonna be able to go for much longer, because I think it's just we're kind of nothing really happened this week.
Shit happened.
It's just nothing that really of all that interest happened.
Not really.
Yeah, it's just kind of one of those weeks where it's just like, huh.
Oh, we could talk about the raid.
Which raid?
The raid. You know, the raid.
Which raid?
The Area 51 raid.
You mean the thing that hasn't actually like really had anything happen to it yet?
Wait, did they actually do it? Is it just like a bunch of people getting drunk?
Like, legit, it's just a bunch of people were just showed up just to like sit down and like the Area 51 raid happened. It happened, but it was only like a small group of people who just showed up just to have a fun time outside the gates and stuff like that, and they didn't do anything stupid. They like apparently like 2 people got arrested.
Yeah, 2 people did get arrested.
Yeah, 2 Dutch tourists were arrested after being found trespassing in the Department of Energy land area near Area 51. They say they saw the no trespassing signs at the Mercury Highway entrance to the Nevada National Security Site, but they wanted to look at the facility. So they've been, since then, the 2 men have been sentenced to a year in county jail, which was suspended in favor of 3-day imprisonment and a monetary fine, which I'm like, good. Apparently, like, only like a small group of people just showed up. I think maybe like a few hundred people.
Yep.
Like that's the thing, is it looks like it's just a small group of people showed up, and like there was a live stream and somebody did a Naruto run on a camera, and I was like, fucking Christ.
Yep.
But yeah,
I found a good picture
for this week's podcast. Besides your teeth.
I'm not posting pictures of my teeth.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Why would I post pictures of my teeth?
I don't know.
That's not my actual X-ray.
I thought it was.
No. I said it's like my like my X-ray, but it's not like my actual X-ray. Oh, we could talk about Trudeau and his fucking.
No, we're not
racism.
touching that with a 10-foot pole. We're not touching that this week because I want to see how this develops first. Because even though it started 3 days ago? No, 2 days ago. It started on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that alone, because for two reasons. One, I want to see how it develops out. Because if it develops the way I think it's gonna develop, I have a rant. If it develops the way it should go out, the way it should, well, the way it shouldn't develop out, and that's the reason why I'm saying that is the way it shouldn't develop out. Because even the way it should develop out, I have a rant about. But if the way it shouldn't develop out, I have a bit of a stipulation. But it's at the same time a kind of you made this bed, lie in it kind of situation.
Well, okay. So here's my opinion on it. You're okay. You're the prime minister of the fucking country, and you sit there and you run on a cabinet of hey, equality is this great thing. Hey, this stupid thing, and then you did stuff like that. It's like, man, you just come off as a hypocrite.
Again, I don't want to talk about it. I want to
Yeah,
wait.
I know.
We need to sit down and give it a week. Let's see what happens. Because as of right now, he has apologized and all that fun jazz. And depending upon what happens in the interim, is what we'll decide to discuss upon. Because that's right now, it's still young, it's still fresh, it's still new. Because legit, let's say in a week, he could be out of the running because the party just drops him. That's the reason why let's sit down, let's wait for this to develop out, and then we'll make our decision. But yeah, I think that's a podcast.
Let's wait until Josh comes back, and then we can talk about something else. We'll see if he has anything else to talk about, and then yeah. If he doesn't have anything else to talk about, then we'll just end the show right there.
Yeah, I guess.
You would rather what?
No, I'm just thinking to myself a bit. I can close that. Personally, I would say that. Well, there is technically one other thing I could talk about. I think
we're not talking about something.
I'm just trying to think.
Actually, no. Can we talk about Elizabeth's tits again?
Whose?
Tekken characters' tits.
I don't really care.
Tits are good.
Tits are nice, but at the same time. At the same time, I'm kind of in the situation of I just don't care about this situation. I don't play this game. Mind you, I don't complain about people complaining about what the fuck happens.
Tits are nice.
Tits are nice. They're not the end of the world, though. Or not the be-all end.
I'm busy setting up shit in my server. New disk. Disk ID 0. What disk? Who's there? Is that Josh or is this Allan still?
That's Josh.
That's me.
Insert new disk. Partition. Well wiped disk. And true for. Yeah, okay. So, Josh is back. Josh, do you have anything else to talk about?
We raided Area 51. It was successful.
Not really.
There was nothing really happened.
Nothing happened. Just people partying.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's a few hundred people are just partying, and it's just huh.
Yep. Because I hypothesized with Shane or way earlier in several podcasts ago.
Oh, I think we all knew that nothing was going to happen.
Yeah, it's either nothing or a few people show up and nothing, or it was gonna be successful and rated. But I was like, no.
See, I would have loved to see Area 51 just get raided. But that didn't happen. I'm not really upset. I'm actually kind of like not even disappointed.
I have personally no problem with what happened. Like, it was actually pretty funny for the most part.
Yeah, I think the thing that I'm like more upset about is like my hope was up. It was there, and it didn't happen, and thus I'm disappointed. But like at the end of the day, it's like nobody was really nobody was really expecting them to do anything like that. Like I didn't even think people were going to show up, honestly.
I was hoping for 0 people to show up, actually. Because you see people prepping for like all these people to show up, and I'm like, man, it would be great if no one showed up. Just no one at all. It'd be so great.
Oh yeah, but at the same time, it's just kind of like whatever. Something happened. Whatever.
Okay. Not a big deal. I think the bigger deal was like that people actually did show up and then they just got drunk on the side.
They got drunk outside of it, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like that sounds about right. Like that sounds about right. For us?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think so.
For like this generation, it's like, yeah. I don't know. I find it far more interesting though that like okay, I got actually a topic I kind of want to talk about because like this is actually something
come on,
that really...
man. We got like legit.
Okay.
You said you wanted to end this like not 2 minutes, like not 5 minutes ago when Josh was in the washroom.
Yeah, I did.
Hurry up.
Hong Kong is a mirror image of the U.S.
Oh?
And it's scary.
How so?
Because this is something where it actually shows what the communists would be like if they have power.
Well,
where
we
it's
all
just
knew that.
basically, yeah. It's like I don't understand. I kind of want to say this in like the calmest way possible, but it's like it's just fucked up. It's just fucked up because it's like, man, the people in Hong Kong deserve better.
The world deserves
And
better.
like, oh yeah, everyone does. But like, it's just sad because like it's just something where like I see this and I'm just like, oh, that sucks. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. And I'm not too privy about it, if you catch my drift. Like, I really don't like what they did. I think that the way that they're doing this horrible thing does not justify the means.
No.
And it's disgusting for the Chinese government to do that. And that's about it. That's all I was going to say on it.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. No,
Yeah.
Personally, for me right now, with the Hong Kong situation, I'm kind of like looking at it and going, it's like, yeah, it's a bad situation. But at the same time, the rest of the world needs to step up to back it up, get them, like help them, but nobody wants to.
I think that they kind of have their like hands tied.
No, they could step in. They could bring it. They can do a couple of things. Like they could launch sanctions against China. They could launch seizures of political territory in that on the grounds of human right violations based on Hong Kong. Like legit, there's actually quite a few things they do, but nobody in the world has the balls to take on China anymore because legit, nobody has the balls to take on China anymore. So what do I know?
Probably more than a little less than $1 million.
Yeah, whatever. All right, I think that's a podcast, though. I think we're just
That
kind
is
of
a
rambling
podcast,
now.
though. Yeah. So, anyways, thank you everyone for listening to the Black Mind podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show and hope that you had a good time with us.
Hopefully.
You can listen to us every Thursday on blackmindgames.podbean.com. And yeah, this episode will probably go up at the same time as usual. It's probably going to be normal as every other episode. It's going to be posted to YouTube, Podbean, and your podcasting app of choice. If you choose to listen to us on anything else, you can. If you don't like the podcast, you can always complain about it, okay?
Wonderful.
Have a good night, guys. And thank you guys for joining.
Good night.
Do I not have...
And it was 260. What else do I need to put here?
You know,
and
Area
then
50.
immediately I went into Nate and sat and learned about the new input system.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. That was fun.
It's fun to learn shit at Nate.
It was fun getting told I don't know jack shit. I don't know jack shit.
Yeah, that's what they do all day.
Mhm.
All day.
And then I watched the guy who was teaching us and Kirby lose horribly at Tetris because I bought my PlayStation. So that was my day. How was your guys this week?
Good.
That's good.
Josh, I literally saw you like on Wednesday.
Yeah, it was real good.
Yeah. Yeah, you were baked out of your fucking mind.
I took half of an almond and I was like, man, I am feeling this almond. Because I remember the last time I got baked, I took too much and I couldn't do anything.
So, to explain to the listener what happened, Josh and I and his friend Leslie all bought almonds and weed.
Well, different products, but we got almonds.
Yeah, we got almonds. And I think also, didn't you also get peanut butter cups?
No, I just got the almonds because it was like, whatever, I'll just buy them all in one spot because I think they were cheaper.
So,
But yeah.
Josh bought all of the almonds. He bought 3 packs. He gave 1 pack to me.
I bought 3 packs. Yep.
He literally writes, I didn't know that he bought 3 packs. I thought he bought peanut butter cups.
I can't. The funny thing is, I can't really have peanut butter. I'm supposedly allergic to them. I don't break out in hives or anything. I guess I just not supposed to have them or whatever.
Right.
But it's just like, well, I'm not feeling for peanut butter cups, but I love fucking chocolate almonds. So just go for those. And another thing is hard to gauge with a peanut butter cup where you should stop eating it. And there's only 3 cup. I think it's only like a 3 cup or 2 cup per bag, and it's pretty expensive. So it's like, well, fuck it. Seems like you get farther mileage with an almond.
Yeah. A little bit.
That half an almond screwed me up. So it's like, why not go with half an almond?
Mm-hmm. So, anyways, what ended up happening? Josh ended up having half an almond. Okay? I can't stress this enough. He had half of one.
Yes.
I show up at his house to get my pack of almonds. Okay? There are 3 packs. Okay? Josh opened up 1.
I opened up 1 pack. I cut the chocolate almond in half. Because again, I remember getting baked before. It only took tiny amounts to get you baked. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take half of chocolate almonds, and oh boy, half of that chocolate almonds was good enough.
I showed up after listening to the Dick show where Dick was raging about how things were going. How Sean wasn't getting his balls inflated with him. Literally, Josh was still fucking baked. Now, I'm going to say this. Josh, when was the time you took the almond? Around noon?
I would say noon, 1 o'clock, I think.
Okay. So, Josh was still baked at around 7? Like, he was done.
Yeah. I was like, you look weird. I'm like, yep.
I don't know. It's guys. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
But yeah.
I'm having an interesting week so far.
Did you just have a VM just explode on you?
No.
Hmm.
I've now I'm done work. I'm now focusing on classes and stuff like that. And all that fun jazz. And I've already got a couple assignments due. And I'm just working on, and by the way, I'm working on homework in the background too. So if I'm quiet for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I've
Oh yeah. I'm totally working on homework, not playing Binding of Isaac. Nope. Not at all.
But I'm actually really enjoying what I'm doing for classes and stuff like that right now.
Yep.
But man.
Fucked, right?
No, not really. It's not a bad thing to go through. It's just kind of
It's fucked, right?
no. It's just kind of one of those days where it's just like, well. Just slow and boring.
Yeah. I don't know. I've had literally 2 machines kill like this hard drive today. This poor innocent hard drive.
How?
How did they kill? Is there a shock going through the system or something?
No, because you want to know what I think it is. So Nate's machines are like barely holding on by a thread. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So like
any college computers.
Yeah. So like a lot of fucking shit happens to the computers. Okay. Now normally I plug in the drive boots, and the drive's fine.
Mm-hmm.
There is one lab where Type-C is not an option. So normally, like, my hard drive literally sits in the bag. It sits in my bag. It's an SSD. It's fine. It doesn't produce a lot of heat. It just sits in the bag. There's one class where I have to take it out and plug it into the computer. This computer proceeds to explode. It was hilarious for 20 minutes. And, yeah. I think it almost killed my hard drive.
Oh?
It
Really?
didn't. But I thought it was scary because I was like, I was busy sitting there panicking my ass off when it did it from my teacher. And then I explained to my teacher, yeah, I don't understand why this problem's happening. And he goes like, what? Okay. Maybe you should focus on my class. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Because Nate's computers are barely holding on by a thread. Anyways. Do you guys want to sync?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, we were talking about this, and we're, like, doing a podcast. I'm like, hold up, we haven't even synced. What the fuck is going on?
Okay.
No, you don't need to. It's fine.
We'll sync
It's
at the end
fine.
if we have to.